everyone, and welcome to Whack with Mia and Patrick and Mia. Oh my gosh, I messed up our own name. It's been a long week. Okay.
Hi everyone.
Hi. So, I'm excited for today's episode, but actually I didn't have a lot to write down because I feel like I'm just so confident with my current self that I don't have a lot of guilty pleasures. But before we get to that, Patrick, how are you?
I'm okay. I skipped class today, which was nice because literally, my art class, so boring. It's like art history. He doesn't take attendance, so I'm like, And then my other class, he just it's a media class, and he literally will spend the first hour of class just talking about nothing.
Oh my God.
It's so pointless. So I'm just I can't deal with that today. So I did not go. But other than that, I've just been kind of chilling all day.
Nice. Yeah, it's actually funny you bring up your art history class because I have to talk about my art history class because my professor snatched us the other day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically in this art, it's this art and environment class, and I think it's the first year it's being taught. And Patrick, I told you this story, but I'm going to tell it again because it's so, I just don't even know. But basically, no one takes notes in it because no one knows what we're supposed to be learning. And she doesn't give us tests. So no, everyone's okay, we'll just listen. And she talks to us for 2 hours.
If you don't have tests, there's no point in taking notes.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, exactly.
Unless it's part of your major.
Yeah. And none of us are art majors. We're all we're in the College of Arts and Letters, but only two of us are actually studying art.
Mm-hmm.
And so no one takes notes. And at the beginning of class, she noticed, she starts lecturing a little bit, and she's why aren't you guys taking notes? And we all just look around, and we're all and she's no, seriously, I'm not mad, just I wonder why do you guys not take notes in this class? And we were all just well, you don't test us, so what's the point? We don't really know. And she was well, not to threaten you guys with an exam, but I think I'm gonna teach you guys how to take notes in an art history class. And we were all just oh, okay. So literally the first note that I wrote down, I was she wants us to take notes. She's calling us out. I'm so scared. Yeah. So then we all pretended basically to take notes the entire class. And I really just don't know what we're supposed to be learning. And I don't even think she really knows what she's supposed to be teaching. I think they kind of just threw her in. And I think I've mentioned this before, but she's extremely intelligent. She has 2 doctorate degrees. So it's way too advanced for any of us who are just in it for the credit. So yeah, that's my art history class. But in other news, I just came back literally 20 minutes ago, in the musical theater artsy part of neighborhood of campus. At the main dining hall, they're having Broadway night. And so me and all my friends are going after our class, and the line is literally almost out the door for this thing. And we were oh my God. So here we go. We're just trying to eat. It's just a plus that it's also Broadway night. And so we wait in line for 10 minutes. We finally get in. We get they had playbills made and VIP.
Nice.
It's it was actually kind of cute. It's these cute VIP Broadway night lanyards. And so I took one. I love it. And they were playing all old Broadway recordings, and there was a cake. There was a cake that it was all different layers of each one was a different musical. And I was first of all, how much did they pay for this? And there was also an ice sculpture of the comedy drama. Yeah, I know, it's wild. It was it was the comedy and drama masks, and it was it was an ice sculpture. Everyone is just looking around what were these people on when they were planning this? But it was fun.
Insane.
They had fondue and cheese fondue and and chocolate fondue. I didn't get any because the line was absurd. And then they were serving beef Wellington and all the actual good food, not just dining hall food, real good food. And I was wow, just goes to show you that we need to have an event to have a decent meal.
Yeah, my dining hall usually just has roaches.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was fun though. But then I left because it was getting too crowded, and I was getting overwhelmed. I was this is too much for me right now. But apparently they're having live performances from students and stuff later.
So cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. And like, I wish I could have stayed longer, but I was like, I need to get out of here. Like, especially like we weren't even there like during the peak hour of like the dining hall. So like whenever the like normal people rush in, like who aren't like musical theater people, like they're gonna be like, what is going on? But I mean, it was fun. It was cute. But yeah, that's pretty much that was like the highlight of my week. It's been a long one, but we're doing fine. Spring break is next week. I can't wait. Yeah, that's it from my end.
Next week.
Yeah, I leave on Friday, I think, to come home. So I'm ready.
This Friday? Like tomorrow?
No, like next Friday.
Oh,
so like we have
okay. I was like, because I had talked to you about spring break and I was like, it's not that week. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but like that's pretty much it for me. So
cool.
let's just jump into it.
All right. Do we want to do music or news first?
I don't remember what we did first last week.
I never remember.
Yeah, neither do I. I mean, I can do music really quick if you want.
Okay, I think we usually do music first.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So this segment, if you guys are new, but if you're like, a seasoned whack fan, you know that
seasoned AK 4 episode. This is the 4th episode.
Yeah, basically, Let's Groove is a segment we're going to do where we're going to be talking about newer, upcoming artists, or just whatever we're listening to that week, kind of like, just talking about what we think. And this week, we are going to be talking about Isaac Dunbar, who really, like, just came out of nowhere for me because he's, like, on my my Friday Apple Music mix.
Okay.
And his song Mime came up on it, and I loved it. I was jamming to like for a whole week. It was like one of those songs where you literally play it on repeat for like an entire week before like you get sick of it and then move on. But yeah, I looked into him more, and he only has 3 songs, and I was like, so he must be like pretty new. And like there was a picture of him in the cover art for the song, and I was like, oh, okay, so he's like young, like he's new. And so I did some research on him, and there's like barely like anything, like he's super new, and I found out, guess how old he is.
Okay, well, he has a song called Freshman Year, so he's either like in his teens or like in college.
Yeah, he's literally 15.
That's insane.
I know, and like I watched the music video for Freshman Year, and like he is a 15-year-old. Like it's like when I listened to him, like I thought, okay, like he has a young voice, but like he's probably like 19, 18, 19, around there. But no, he's literally 15, and his voice is like so good. Like I was surprised. And then it like clicked in my head. I was like, okay, that's why he only has 3 songs. Like he's literally brand new.
Yeah.
He like wrote Freshman Year. Like literally one day after school, he was like, I'm just like gonna be like dramatic and witty about this. And like if you listen to the lyrics, it's like it's true. It's like he says like. He's like, like, where's my phone? Like, I lost my keys. And then he's like, oh, wait, like, I can't even drive. Which is, like, so funny because, like, I relate to that so much because, like, I remember, like, being in, like, freshman year of high school and being like, oh, I wish I could drive. Like, I wish I could just, like, like, be free and be me. But, like, I'm literally, like, 14. But, like, it's, like, so interesting to see, like, all these younger artists, like, coming into the music scene. And, like, it's wild to me. And like just the fact that like a lot of them like that he writes his own songs, like that is
also the fact that he only has 3 songs and he's already like getting at least some sort of traction. Like that's not normal. Yeah,
the articles that I read were on The Fader and The Line of Best Fit, which I hadn't even heard of before, and like I guess that like just shows like that maybe like smaller media, like what would you even call it? Like news sites, I guess, like are picking him first. So, and like he like self-produced like some of his like he has like SoundCloud. I didn't send you any of them because I haven't really listened to them myself yet.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah, I was reading the article and he like would produce like all his stuff, and I guess he's like on a label now that like produces for him. But like still like just the fact that he started out like that, like honestly, good for him. Like when I was 15. I was like complaining about like how hard my life was, like even though it wasn't, like just like I would complain about like, oh my god, I have so much homework. Like
I remember you always complaining about like bio.
Yeah, don't even talk about bio. Like that class was horrible. Every science class I ever took in high school was like literally the worst part of my day. Like even
Mine
worse.
was social studies.
Oh, really? I loved social studies.
Like I think it was the teachers.
Yeah. I mean, I had Mr. Mannion and like
yeah, see, I didn't have Mannion, I didn't have Hannah.
He's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, what did you think of the songs like when you first listened to them?
So I'll start off with what I didn't like. I didn't like Blonde. That is just kind of a basic pop sound to me, but I like the like ew parts. Other than that, I like the other two songs a lot. I really liked Freshman Year. How like the way he just started just naming off people. I'm like, wow, okay, Ariana.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And very like sad, but it's also like kind of relatable. And I was thinking like, oh, well, like I feel like this could be applicable to me like my freshman year of college, not high school really. But a lot of it was definitely like very relatable. I like the line where he's like, everyone's partying and I'm at home crying. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
So I did really like that song. I thought it was very relatable. That one, especially like lyrics wise, sound wise, I really did like Mime. It had this like carnival circus musical sound almost mixed with this like EDM, which I thought was really cool. I didn't really pay attention to the yes, for sure. I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics in Mime, but so I would say my favorite lyrics wise was Freshman Year. Favorite sound wise was Mime.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I'm not saying like I don't like the lyrics of Mime, but like you're right that like they're not as like stand out ish as Freshman Year, but like the sound that Mime has like grabbed me by the throat. I loved it. Like the second I heard it, I literally fell in love with it. Like it's like
I really liked it. Yeah.
Like the part where it's like, and your family and your friends, like it's not even like harmonies. It's just like backtracking of him. And I absolutely adore that sound. Like, I think it like gave me chills the first time I listened to it.
Wow.
And like, I really, like, I don't know why, it just like really hooked me. Like, I really, really enjoy that song, like just production wise. And like, I feel like just like something like I've noticed like over the past couple episodes is that like whenever we talk about music, like you like to focus more on the lyrics and I like to focus more on like the sound production of it, just because like, I don't know why that is. Like, I wonder like, maybe
I think
like
that's
it's just
like difference in people. I usually like focus more on sound, but like lately I've like focused more on lyrics. I don't know if that's just like because I have to listen to more like for my radio show, like I have to listen to lyrics, make sure like everything's all clean and everything. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I think it's like I like to focus on like sound production of like songs more so because like I like to make music.
Yeah.
And like I don't make music that's like that has lyrics, like because like I just like am too scared to like go into that like territory with it. But I love like just like messing around on my guitar and just like coming up with like cool chord progressions. Oh my gosh, I have such a hard time saying that. I don't know why.
You gotta listen to our first episode again. Just go for it. Just do it.
Yeah, seriously. I know. I need to do that more often now. But yeah, Isaac Dunbar, like I think he's gonna definitely become bigger in the next like year or so. Especially as he gets older. Like
I mean, those younger artists that have that similar sound are really popular right now. I mean, you think about like Billie Eilish. I mean, a little bit different, but still relatively the same.
They actually talk about like how he like fits into the category of like Khalid and like Billie Eilish and like a lot of like the like quote unquote like bedroom pop kind of style. That's like kind of
I've never heard that term. That's a really good term for it. Yeah,
no, that's like what like I see that more and more often now, and like honestly like my kind of sound, I love it. I really enjoy like Billie Eilish a lot. I mean, I think she's a little crazy, but I like her.
The spider.
Yeah, oh my gosh, that I can't. But yeah, so I'll leave the links to Isaac Dunbar's pages on Spotify and Apple Music, and you guys can go check it out and let us know what you think. So, ready to talk about some weird news?
Yes. This is our segment, When Pigs Fly, where we talk about weird news that we find online. So 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of finding some news about farting trolls.
Love
and this week, instead of trolls, we have smurfs.
Oh, gosh.
So in Germany, there was this town that had a quote-unquote smurf invasion. This is all from like NPR's weird, strange news section. So thousands of people gathered dressed up like Smurfs, like purely Smurfs. No, you can't dress up as like Gargamel, to break a world record.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's actually kind of fun.
I mean, yeah, no, it's fun. Like, and like the picture of it is literally just all these like people dressed up as Smurf. Like, let's see. So people were encouraged to dress as either Papa Smurf or Smurfette. And it didn't count unless all of the skin that was showing on you had to be blue. Like, you couldn't show any non-blue skin, otherwise it wouldn't count. And like I said, Gargamel was like off limits. And normal Smurfs were okay too. But it says 2,762 Smurfs showed up. So I was like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I'm like, what made them think of doing this? Well, turns out this record, like, it was an actual record. Like, people had already made this a record in 2009 in the UK. I'm like, people made, like, I don't know, there's just like, that's just like so weird, the fact that this record already existed before.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking.
Like, I don't know, like, so before it was 2,510 people in the UK in 2009, and then someone attempted to break it in 2016, and I guess it didn't get broken there, and so then this time they broke it with 2,762 Smurfs, people dressed up as Smurfs.
See, this is so funny because, like, you know how you always see those Facebook events that are like fake?
Yes.
Like, where it's like
there was one in Pittsburgh, wasn't like come to the All-Star concert dressed up like Shrek.
Yeah, that was one, and it's like it seems like that.
Yes,
but like imagine like coming across that like in Germany on Facebook being like, come to this place dressed up as a Smurf to break the world record.
Yeah.
And like I like imagine how many people saw that and were just like, that's a joke, like that's so funny.
Yeah.
And then like it actually happened.
Yes.
It would
I remember seeing that Shrek one and I was like, I wanted to do it, but like I completely forgot about it, honestly.
No. And
like it would have been funny, but like the fact that people like came together to break a world record that already existed, especially in 2009.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a weird time for it to be, like, it just is very strange.
And like imagine like, you know how there was like a failed one in 2016 you said?
Yes.
Imagine like getting all dressed up as a Smurf. You literally paint your entire body blue just to get there and be like, yeah, we didn't make it.
Yeah, I know. Like, what in the world? Who thinks it? I don't know. That, and so like, they're going to be on the... You would what?
I would have done it.
Oh, I would have totally done it, but it's just like, who even like, who like gathers that together? Like, do you just decide one day, like, you know what, we're gonna break the world record? Like, I don't know. It's all very strange.
That kind of sounds like Improv Everywhere on YouTube.
No.
Have you ever heard of that? Oh,
wait, really yes, cool. I think I have actually.
Yeah, and it'll be like 100 people like go onto like the New York City subway like in their underwear or something, and they like all gather in one spot and then go do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like that sounds like an Improv Everywhere kind of like skit.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was really weird and funny. I would have totally joined. To
all the Smurfs in Germany
who broke the world record. The Guinness Book of World Records.
Have you ever heard of the balloon fest thing that happened in Cleveland in like the 80s or something, where they like broke a world record of like all these like releasing the most balloons like in the world?
You know
and
what?
like
I just saw a picture about that recently, or like, but I didn't like click on the news article or whatever it was that I saw of it. But I only read the title. But yes.
Oh my God, you have
like,
to look.
What is it about?
It was a disaster. Like it,
yeah, I saw it. I saw it was a disaster. That's what it said.
First of all, like in today's world, never would happen. Like never. Like all that like plastic like just going up. Because like we always talk about like it's like, oh my God, like the balloons like fly and then like the dolphins think it's jellyfish, like that kind of thing. Like it would never happen today. Like not a million years. But like what happened is that they released all these balloons and everyone was like, yay, balloons. And it was like cool, like in the moment. But then 2 fishermen went missing, or their boat like capsized like out on the lake. But you know what happens to balloons when they run out of air? They sink, and they all fell into the lake. And so they were looking for these two fishermen, and like imagine trying to find like two heads like swimming in the water amongst millions of balloons. Like it's impossible. And the two guys like they died. Like they couldn't find them in time.
That's so sad.
So yeah, that's where the whole disaster thing is. And
that's so weird coincidence.
I know, it's so weird. And like I think they broke the world record, but I mean I'm assuming that the record is going to stand now because like I said, they would never do that like in today's.
Yeah.
And like for good reason.
So many weird world records.
There's no reason to like release like millions of balloons like just to be like, oh, we're gonna break a world record.
Yeah, I know. There's like so many weird world records out there. Yeah. It's like who even comes up with this?
Yeah, I used to like flip through my like Guinness Book of World Records and like what's it called, Ripley's Believe It or Not book when I was like some of them were
that
wacky.
Book scared me, honestly.
No, me too.
Like, the weird things on there.
But like that was like. I was like really into like that kind of weird stuff like that scared me, and I'd be like, I have to get over this fear, like I'm just gonna go through it. And then it was actually some cool stuff in it. So yeah, I guess moral of the story is you can break any world record you want as long as it's not gonna like impede on looking for two people that are just trapped in the middle of the lake, I guess.
Yes. So don't release a ton of balloons, just go out and dress up like a Smurf. Moral of this podcast.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll move on to the main portion of this show. Mia already mentioned it a little bit, that we're going to be doing guilty pleasures. And so Mia, you mentioned having a tough time thinking about them. I had a tough time a little bit as well, because now I'm not really like I don't
ashamed.
Yes, that's the word. I'm not really ashamed of the media I consume, but back in the day, especially like middle school, like I would never tell anyone like what kind of shows I was watching. They weren't like it wasn't like anything bad, but just like embarrassing. And so now I'm like cool with showing it. And so basically what I did for my list, I did movies and TV shows or like YouTubers that I like might watch that might like embarrass me a little bit and just be like, oh, but like I'm the type of person who'd be like, yeah, I watch it, so what? Or just like movies, mostly movies, I think, for this list, or like TV shows, I guess, that are like I watch it and I'm like, I know this is garbage, like it's not good, but like I love it, like it's my garbage, you know?
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it, actually.
Yes. So, because there's just sometimes those things where you're just like, you know what, this is like not good quality at all, but I love it so much. So absolutely. I had that, and then I also have like TVs and movies on here that used to embarrass me, but don't really anymore.
Oh, I think as we're talking about it, I feel like I'm gonna come up with stuff because one just popped into my head. So
okay, that's great.
Do you want to start it off?
Sure. Okay, so I'm gonna start. Let's see. I'm going to start with movies that I don't think are like quality, but I still love. So to start us off, I always say this is my guilty pleasure: Sister Act 1 and 2.
Oh my gosh. Love those movies.
They're so good with Whoopi Goldberg, and they're not good. Like they are so cliche, like so cheesy. They're from the 90s though, so it's like okay. Same with like yeah, I'll get to that actually later. But what I really love, Sister Act 2 is superior, by the way.
Yeah.
But I love the music from it. And the music, if they didn't have the music, then I probably wouldn't like it really that much. But I love the music from it so much that like I love the movies and I listen to music all the time. So for me, like that's really where I discovered these movies. I don't know. I saw a clip of Oh Happy Day on Facebook once that my aunt shared. And I was like, oh, what is this? Oh, and I remember you guys in choir saying Joyful, Joyful.
I was just about to bring this up. And
yes.
Me and like, okay, the funny thing about this story is that like, at first, like we pitched the idea to include the rap to our choir director, like as a joke. Like it was clearing choir, it was all girls. Like we were like,
you should have known she was gonna do it at that point.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But like that was the best part is that we were like all laughing about it and like joking about it. And then Millie was like, what if we actually did it? And I was like, I'm down. Like, I will do it. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, okay. And so 2 other girls did it with me that were like in on the gag with it. Except the thing is that like come the performance is that like they weren't as into it as I was. So I either looked like 1, a fool, or 2, I was like keeping the party alive.
Oh no. I mean, to me, you kept the party alive. You were like in your hat and you were like really going for it. Like it really made it. I loved it. And that's really what made me want to like check out the movie after I like found out what it was from. Because I remember you told me about what movie it was from, and I was like, oh, I want to go watch that now. And I absolutely loved it. And that's my favorite song from those movies.
Yeah, that was probably the last time I watched it was probably sophomore year of high school, but I loved it. Like I have to revisit it because honestly, quality film.
Yes. Quality trash, but my trash, you know?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. You can go next.
Okay. So listen, I included websites that like I would frequent as a child, but never really grew out of. So there's a couple in this. Well, actually, there's only really one that I want to talk about like right now is clubpenguin.com. I love Club Penguin. I've been on that website since I was 6 years old. I think it was like 2017, I want to say 2016, 2017, around then, they closed it down and I cried. Like I actually cried. Yeah. And like even then I hadn't really been on it like in a couple like years, but like I would go on it like once every couple months just like for the fact to be like, oh my God, like is my penguin still alive? But the great thing is that this wonderful group of, I think they're British, I don't really know, but they made a new website that's called Club Penguin Rewritten.
Oh, I've heard you mention that, but I was just like, I guess they just brought it back.
Yes, okay. And like it's great because like now I can go back on Club Penguin and like I had that membership so I could like play all the games and like buy all the games. And like my parents
I had the membership too, of course.
They went out on the limb for me and got me this membership and like honestly so thankful.
I remember finding out that I got the membership because like it was around my birthday and we were at a restaurant and my parents told me and I was so excited.
Oh my gosh, that's like telling your kid, like taking them out to a restaurant and being like, listen, we're going to Disney World. But, like, no, like listen, we got you a membership to Club Penguin. Honestly, it would have gotten the same reaction from me either way. Yes. But I remember like being a kid and I would go to the Disney store with my dad and they had like a whole like little setup for Club Penguin and there were like stuffed puffles and like little like games you could play in books. I had 2 Club Penguin books. One was a choose your own adventure and one was like a tips and tricks guide. And so it was like great. I love it. And I still go on it to this day. Like if I'm bored in class, I'm on Club Penguin. And like it's funny because like sometimes like if it's like a room where like other people are on it, I'll be like, any college students here skipping class? And like I'll get a few responses being like, oh yeah, I am.
Yes, I love that.
It's so funny.
See, I'm sort of similar with like Pop Tropica. I go on like every few months, or not every few months, every few years.
Is also also another website I frequent in class.
Oh yes, I love it so much. The last time I was on it was senior year, so it has been a while, but it is a great game.
So good.
I have the app on my phone. I just haven't played it in a long time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even know they had an app.
Yes.
But yeah, Club Penguin slaps. It is literally my favorite thing in the whole world. And like the great thing about Club Penguin Rewritten is that they do like parties every month and it's like all like new stuff, not stuff they would have like on the original site, but I love it.
So do you have to pay for it?
No, it's completely free and you get a membership.
That's so nice.
It's awesome. And like I have like all the puffles. My igloo is amazing. I decorated it for Christmas this year. It was awesome.
I just remembered. Oh, keep going.
No,
sorry,
but
something.
Yeah, I love it. Like it will always have a place in my heart and I will continue to play it until Club Penguin Rewritten closes down.
So I used to always go on, of course, and I enjoyed the games and everything. I always enjoyed trying to tip the iceberg. But most of what I would do I would go on. Well, I would talk to my other friends at school. Like, do you remember doing that? Like,
oh yeah, I would like call my friends on the phone and be like, "Get on Club Penguin."
Yes, and I thought it was so cool. And I also remember like just going around, always trying to find a girlfriend. So I would literally like sit at the pizza restaurant with some like girl penguin and like just talk to them.
My God.
And
on a date, pretty nervous.
I know. And I remember I would then like look up Club Penguin stuff like online all the time, because like I was the type of kid, like when I would obsess over something, I always said like I have a new obsession this month, and I would always like go through it and like dig deep into it. I would look up the Wikipedia about it. I would look up like pictures of it, all this stuff, and I would like save the pictures on a Word document for who knows why. And I remember like going through and I found a video, and it was had a bad day. And it was like Bad Day Club Penguin version, and it's literally just like Club Penguins just like walking around saying these lyrics, but like in different parts.
My God.
And like looking back at that, I'm like that literally would be like a meme now, but like back then it was serious. I thought it was like so cool. I was just like, this is so emotional.
No, and like the tweet you sent me the other day is so funny. Like it's a tweet and it says, "If she's your girl, why is she in my igloo petting my puffball right now?"
Yeah, that's so funny.
It's so funny. I love it. One of my puffles ran away recently though, and I'm kind of sad about it.
I
just bought a new one.
I only had one though.
Another thing I would do is that I would like go online and be like Club Penguin coin hacks, and I would like find out like how to like basically scam the game into giving you like thousands of coins. I
should have done that.
Yeah, I was a scammer at a young age, so making that coin literally.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So my next one is for movies. Trash but good trash is Good Burger.
That's so long. What happened to the movie?
What happened to the movie?
It kind of like, I feel like it like just like evaporated from everyone's memory until like just now. Like that's the first time I've thought about it in years.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I remember watching it as a kid. It like came on Nickelodeon just randomly because it came out in like the 90s or maybe the year 2000. And so I didn't watch it when it premiered. But I remember it just like came on Nickelodeon. I'm like, what is this? I'm like, why does this look so old? And I like kept watching it. I'm like, I love this. And years down the road, it was on Netflix for a little while. It's not anymore, which is sad. And like I just like rewatched it and I was like, oh, I forgot how much I love this movie. And it's so like funny, and like they get away with so many jokes that like would not have passed for Nickelodeon back in the day.
That's the best thing about watching like a kids movie like when you're older, is that you get all like the little like innuendos like put in there for parents and stuff.
Not even that. Like it wasn't even like in it like there was literally a joke about Ed. He's the like stupid guy in the movie, and he says to the other guy who's played by Kenan Thompson. So they're both black, and Kenan Thompson says something about like how he's like, "Sorry, Ed, but like I have to go over here or something." I don't know. And Ed goes, "Is it because I'm black?" And I'm like, that's so funny, and that would not be allowed today. Even though, and it's funny because they're both black, so it's like, no, of course it's not. But like, just those like, I don't know, it's just like back in the day.
Yeah.
Because like kids movies still do that nowadays, but like it's just funny to like see that like what passed back in the day, and just like I don't know, the whole aesthetic of the movie, I really love it too. I don't know why, I just like love it so much, and it's so funny to me. I remember I showed my cousins it, and my cousin hates it. She's like, "This is so stupid, why would you like this?" And I'm like, I don't know, I just love it. And maybe it's the nostalgia factor of just like seeing it on TV. I thought I was the only one who like knew, well, I don't remember like talking to my friends about it as a kid, but like I had never heard anyone else talk about it, so I was like, this movie is like my movie. Like no one else really knows about it except me. Turns out my sister loves the movie too. I remember watching it with her in middle school, but I don't know. I just love that movie so much. I haven't watched it in a while because I took it off Netflix, but turns out my roommate loves the movie too, which is great. So I'm waiting for it to come back on so we can watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my next one is a movie also. It's still like, honestly, I don't really know. It's more of a guilty pleasure now than it used to be, but Mulan 2, I love Mulan 2. Like me and my brother would watch it every single day for like months. Like we would
I've only seen it once.
It's only like an hour and a half, so like it's an easy watch. Like we would literally put it on, like I'd get back from school, like he'd be sitting in like the playroom, be like, let's like come on, it's time for Mulan 2. And we would watch it like every day. And I watched it recently and like I literally love it. Like the music in it is so good. The first song that comes on, it's called Lesson Number 1, I think. So good. Like I loved singing that when I was little, and I don't know if I could live without Mulan 2 now. Like it's so good. Like
I've heard the music for it's pretty good, but like I heard the movie itself is not the best.
The movie itself is like little, it's like trash, but like you said, my trash. But like I thought it was like so good. Like, and I still do. Like honestly, I think I might like Mulan 2 better than Mulan 1. And like I hate that I say that because Mulan is like a classic.
I love Mulan. Mulan's like my favorite Disney movie. Or
I love
movie,
it.
Probably.
I love it, but like Mulan 2 is so good. It's literally so good. I love it.
I'd have to rewatch it.
And like basically the whole premise of the movie is Mushu trying to break up Li Shang and Mulan because he'll lose his pedestal if they get married. And like, which is honestly so wrong. Like, but yeah, and they're like transporting like these princesses from like one like city to another so that they can get married. I don't know. It's odd, but I love it. So good.
I have heard I think I've heard that like most people are in agreement that Mulan 2 is like one of the better Disney sequels, but like overall the Disney sequels like aren't great.
Yeah, no, like the Lion King like 2 is not good. Like it's really bad.
I haven't seen it in so long. I don't even like the Lion King original really.
Oh, really? Oh, I love the Lion King. Yeah. I mean, it's not my favorite, but like it's a classic. Like
I think it's like kind of overrated, but that's just my opinion.
I guess. I mean, it is based on Hamlet, so like.
Yeah. Funny you say that. So my roommate actually got a gecko recently, and he named it Mushu.
Aww, that's so cute. Yeah. I love Mushu. Mushu's like one of my favorite Disney characters. He's so funny. Eddie Murphy, love him.
What'd you say?
Oh, nothing. No, just go on.
Okay, so the next one. This is like a really popular movie recently because the sequel just came out. But Mamma Mia #1 is, I love it so much, but it's my mom's favorite. It's like musical. Not good. Like it's not.
Oh no.
Like the music, of course, it's amazing because it's ABBA. But first of all, some of the people they choose to sing, like okay. First of all, like all of the love interests, all the dads, they're not that good. Like even the one guy, Sam, he's the guy who plays Sam. He was like, I think he said like for the sequel, he's like, don't give me a singing part, or if you do, like make it one line. And he literally only got one line in the sequel because like he can't sing. Yeah. And okay, I like hate to say this. I hate to say this.
Oh gosh.
Because I love Meryl Streep, but girl cannot sing that well. Like she's okay.
I mean, she was pretty good in Into the Woods.
I have to disagree.
Okay, but like that's because you're like gonna compare it to like Bernadette Peters, and like no one can compare.
Okay, yes.
But like she didn't do a bad job.
Like I don't know. Just like when she sang in Mamma Mia, I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah. Her acting is amazing. Amazing actress. See, that's absolutely wonderful.
That's the thing about like adapting musicals for movies is that see, I don't get how they botch it because it's literally all laid out for you, like literally laid out for you, like as in it has a script and it has a score already. Yeah. But like they find a way. Like they really find a way. And
most movie musicals are not like the best singers, especially because you want to get that celebrity face on it so people will come and see it. And those typically people aren't like amazing singers, but people let it pass, people let it slide because whatever, it's their favorite actor.
Yeah, because like you can't mess with like Meryl Streep. You know what I mean? Like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But like I wish they would like cast like actual like musical theater actors and actresses, because like the quality of the movies would just like go up, but like then like you're right, like you want that like celebrity face on it, which is like but like I think that's probably why like they botch it half the time even though it's literally laid out for them.
Yeah. I don't know. I was really happy with the second one. I recently watched it. It's better than the first one. And the young Donna is an amazing singer. She's really good. And it's a lot less cheesy. Like, okay, musicals are meant to be cheesy. I get it. But the first one, it's just like awkward at some points. And I'm just like, I don't like, I'm like, I love it. Like, I really do love it. And I only recently watched it. So it doesn't have a nostalgia factor for me. But I only recently watched it and I do love it. But it's just not, it's just like some parts I'm like, that's so cringy. Whereas the second one, it's like, okay, yeah, but this is like the good kind of cheesy, like not bad. So for me, it's a guilty pleasure, even though it's like really popular right now. So it's like really, I'm not like ashamed of it, but it's just like I can recognize that it's like not that good. Like there's literally a video on YouTube that I watched talking about like how it's not even that good, but everyone loves it because like the music and it's just like fun. Like it's a movie you watch when you just want to have a good time. Yeah, and that's all what it's all about, which is good.
You see, I'm gonna touch on one thing that just like pops in my head because it bothers me. I hate when people are like, oh my God, like I love Take a Chance on Me from Mamma Mia. Like, no, ABBA did it first. It was ABBA's song. It's not from Mamma Mia. They took it from ABBA. Cite it correctly because I love ABBA. Like,
Wait, is it ABBA or ABBA?
I say ABBA. I don't think
I
really.
say ABBA.
Oh, okay. Really? Oh, wow. Cultural differences. Wow.
No, I love ABBA too. So like, I mostly listen to their versions. Sometimes I like the Mamma Mia version better though.
No, yeah, that's valid. But like, I hate when people are like, I love that song from Mamma Mia. It's not from Mamma Mia. Okay. Yeah. Just like setting that straight. But yeah. So my next one is, okay, this is something I've been doing for years. And like, this is something like, not that I'm ashamed of, but like, I don't really talk about, like, I don't even think you know this. So I like to do this thing where like, listen, I've like been coming up with like stories in my head for like years. Like I used to play with my Legos and I had like a whole storyline. Like,
so did I.
No, and so like I like come up with these stories like just in my head like constantly. I come up with characters. I love doing it. I just can't write. Like I wish I was a better writer because like I could write books. Same. But what I do instead of writing it is that I make like the characters that I have in my head. That sounds so weird when I say it, but characters like that I've come up with, I make them playlists like that they would listen to, like if they were real people.
Okay, I don't take it that far.
No, yeah, see, like it's weird, but like I don't know why. It's just like it's like I'm making a soundtrack to like a movie that like I'll never.
Okay. That's a better way of putting it. That because to me I was like, that's actually crazy. Like,
oh my God,
insane.
No, but yeah, that's kind of what I do.
The soundtrack, phrase it that way more.
Yeah, that's
what you talk about it.
But like I've been doing that since like 8th grade. Like I have like ones that are in like my that's in like my iTunes that like I made like years ago.
I mean, that's cool. Like I actually think that's kind of cool. Like you've made like, oh, this is what this person listened to, but it's also like kind of like weird. But no, like, it's the soundtrack. Like I think that works. That works.
No, and like it's funny because like a lot of like my actor friends that I know, like they'll actually like when they're cast in a role to help them get into that role, they'll make playlists for that character.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's
really cool.
Yeah, that's like a technique that like some actors do, like really get into character. Like my acting teacher even said that he does that sometimes too. And I don't know. That's kind of just like what I like link it to. It's like kind of like it's like a soundtrack, but it's also like it's like this character's like inner thoughts put out by song, if that makes sense. Like my friend Allie, she like sent me like some of the playlists that she's made for characters in the past, and it's really cool. Like it's a really interesting thing to do, like to get into a specific role. So it's like almost like method acting, but like with music, which is like I like that. I don't know. This is nice. Just nice to think about.
So like I definitely did the same thing as a kid. I remember just like I used to have this big table that when I was really, really little, my dad like built it to put like my train tracks on it, and he like nailed the tracks and all this stuff. Because the tables that you could buy were smaller and a lot more expensive. And so then when I was older, he took them off and I used them for my Legos, and I like had all these different Legos. I mixed all the worlds in, and like, but like my stories would get so like intense and dramatic. I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like so I had a Hogwarts castle. And so the Hogwarts castle was like the main part of this like map, I guess. And so I had a ton of Harry Potter Lego characters. And I remember like I even had the Dark Forest. Is that what it's called? Beside the school?
Yeah.
And like literally I had all these like extra Lego like body parts, and so I just put them all in a pile, and like I was like, this is a pile of dead bodies in the forest.
Oh my God. That is deep.
Like, I'm like, wow. I look back and I'm like, that's kind of messed up. But like, I used to have like these huge, like, I mean, I also used to play with like action figures a bunch, and like I would have them like get into relationships and then like have scandals, and like I had like characters who like had drug addictions, all this stuff. Like, and I like look back and I'm like, wow, like I'm like, I either watched way too much TV or I was just like really dramatic. Honestly, it's probably both. No, but that's just funny you say that. I'm like, I literally did that all the time.
One of my Lego stories was like an ongoing war between the skeletons and the not skeletons, I guess. I don't even know. Like, and it would be like there was the king and his son wanted to fight in the war, but he was like, no, you're the heir to the throne. But then he fought in the war and he died, and it was such a big thing. So
I mean, I always had them like come back.
Yeah. No. Like, oh yeah. Same. Like, and like there was one, like I remember one story. It was like he came back and like his lover was like, "Oh my God, you're alive!" And then they got married, and it was really cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one, I don't think you'll have heard of this movie, but have you ever heard of the TV show called Small Potatoes?
No.
Okay, it's this like It's this TV show for like preschoolers. Okay. And it was like, you know those memes where it's like it's 3 a.m. and you wake up to like the George Lopez theme. It's like,
oh my God.
Okay, so that happened to me once, but with this show called Meet the Small Potatoes, and it's like small potato, small potato, small potato, and like then these two other potatoes with like eyes and a face, with like a face. They don't have arms or anything. It's just a face, and they're just like jumping around and they're harmonizing. And so I was like, I literally thought I was dreaming. I was like, what is going on? Like, I had never seen this show before. I'd never heard of it. And like, I just went right back to sleep. And then like a year or so later, I like saw it again on the TV, but I was like actually awake this time. And I was like, wait, I didn't dream that up.
Yeah.
So very weird. And then a couple more years pass, and I'm on Netflix and I see this movie called Meet the Small Potatoes. And I was like, Meet the Small Potatoes. I was like, oh, that's that like preschooler show. So I was with my cousins and I'm like, oh, haha, guys, we should watch this. And me and my cousins always have a terrible time finding a movie on Netflix. Like, is literally the worst. We usually end up just like watching some, like we watch like Hannah Montana or something.
Yeah, it's like a process to figure out what you want to watch.
I know, it's so bad. And so I was like, oh, guys, let's watch this. Ha ha ha. And I like started it as a joke. But like it started and I like kind of got interested and I like kept watching. Meanwhile, this movie is literally for preschoolers, like no joke.
Oh my
God. Okay, but Mia, I honestly think you would like this. Okay, so I love like I love documentaries, but I also love mockumentaries. Mm-hmm. So like Documentary Now, you've talked about that.
Yes, best show.
This movie is a mockumentary with these small potatoes. And what they do is like they start a band. And they go, and basically the whole entire movie, you go through and they go through these like different phases with their band of like music history. So it's like teaching kids about music history. So they have like a punk rock phase, they have like a pop phase, all this different stuff. And then there's like drama between the band members, and like there's the one that's really nice and he's like, guys, can't we just get along? And the other one's like, the one is a girl, her name is Ruby. We always call my cousin Ruby because she's like always wants the spotlight, and she's like oh, and they're also British, so she's like whatever, I'm gonna do my own show because I want the limelight. And it's just so funny, and it's honestly so good, and they took it off Netflix, and I'm sad.
No, now I'm interested.
I know, and like I honestly think you would like it because it's all about music history. Like it's teaching kids music history, and I'm like, that's a really cool idea, and it's like this mockumentary, which I love. Like that's where my love of mockumentaries came from, I think.
Oh wow, that's cool though.
And like that's like so like it's such a random like guilty pleasure, I guess, but it's honestly so good, and I'm like literally for 4-year-olds. But like they have some funny stuff in there. Okay, so whatever. I'm not ashamed.
I'll have to find like an illegal version online because now I want to watch it. Wow. Okay, this just popped into my head, but so last night, me and my roommate watched Chicken Little for literally the first time in like 10 years. Like I totally forgot about this movie. I love Chicken Little, but the thing is that like we watched like the first like this is like kind of like this is I think I would count this as a guilty pleasure now, but like we watched the first like 15 minutes of it, and then both of us realized we were like, wait, where does this movie go? Like, how does this movie end? Like, literally both of us forgot. Remember? Yeah, I didn't remember. Like, it was like just blank. So like it was like I was seeing the movie for the first time again, and like honestly, I love it. Like the music in it is so good. Like you had
the
Spice
pig
Girls.
when the yes, I was about to say that at the end.
Yes. No, there was like Spice Girls. There's like a I Will Survive. Ain't No Mountain High Enough. Yes. Like the music in it is so good. And so like now I like kind of want to watch it like every so often, like Mulan 2. Because like it's just such a weird movie. It is so weird. But
we can watch
great.
it on spring break. I haven't seen it in so long. I used to have the video game, and I had like toys for it. Like I had stuffed animals and action figures for it, except for the chicken, which is weird.
No, my brother was Chicken Little for Halloween one year.
I love that. I love that movie. It's been so long.
But one thing we noticed when we were watching last night, we were like, why is his name Chicken Little? Like that's his first name. Because I thought it might have been like a nickname or something, and like Chicken was his last name. But then like his dad's name is Buck Cluck, so like their last name is Cluck, and his name is just Chicken Little Cluck. Like what? It's so odd, but I love it. It was like the Zootopia before Zootopia, like low key.
Yes,
I love Zootopia. So good.
Yes, both those movies are amazing. I love Chicken Little.
Yeah, but like Chicken Little is just so weird, but I love it.
It's so weird. I love the aliens in it though. The little
like
fuzzy
they're so
guys.
Cute.
Yes.
I had a stuffed animal of Kirby. That's his name, Kirby, and so cute. Love him. But I guess that counts as mine. But I have a good one next, so you go ahead.
Okay. So for the next one, let's see. Okay, I'm gonna do a TV show. Yeah. Okay, so this one I started watching in middle school. Okay, I'm one of those people, it's hard for me to start a show and then not finish it. Some shows I have done that with, but it's pretty hard for me to do that. And so I started the show and I got really into the drama of it. And like, I really don't want to say it. This one's actually like a guilty pleasure. Like I'm ashamed. So Pretty Little Liars.
Oh my gosh, you watched Pretty Little Liars?
Yes, I watched it till the end, which by the way, the end is literally so did you watch it?
No, but I remember when it first came out and I thought it was like the most scandalous thing like on TV.
Oh, I mean, it was like there's some crazy stuff in there. And like, I remember like, so like, well, first of all, the end, literally the worst ending to a TV show I think I've ever seen. 7 seasons. And I mean, toward the end, I was like, why am I still watching this? Like, I don't really enjoy it anymore. But I'm also like, I need to find out who A is. So, you know, it makes sense. But I remember watching it and like I kind of wanted to read the books. So I'm like, I'm not going to go out and buy the books. Like, I'm like, I can't bring myself to do that.
Don't put yourself in that position.
Yeah. I'm like, I can't do that. And so I never read them, but, I mean, it was like, it's interesting because of the mystery behind it. Like, you're just like, who's A? And like, there's some crazy things. Like, there's like these few episodes in like season 5, I think, where they get literally like trapped in this, what they call the dollhouse. And they're like, tortured and like forced to like
what?
Yeah,
what
and they're,
happens in Pretty Little Liars?
They're forced to like electrocute their friends or whatever, and all this stuff. I mean, I guess it's kind of spoilers, but I'm not gonna go too much into it. But like some messed up things happen to them, and so like I remember watching it, and like there's one character that like gets put in a mental hospital, and like I remember watching that and just being like, this is insane. Like, it's just so crazy. And it's honestly really good. The reveal for both A's, there were 2 different A's. No, there were like 3 different A's. Yes, there were 3. The first one is a good reveal. The second one, terrible reveal. Third one, and I remember seeing on Twitter everyone talk about it, and I was like, I agree, but I'm not going to like any of these tweets because I don't want anyone to know that I'm keeping up with this.
Oh my God.
And then the series finale, like I was like online, I'm like, people are not trashing this enough. This needs to be trashed more because it is garbage. Like literally, I was so mad. Anyway, so yeah, that I mean, look, it's cringy. It's also like an ABC Family show while he is Freeform, and like sometimes those shows are like really melodramatic, and so like I look back and I'm like, why did I watch all 7 seasons of that? But also like it had some interesting points. So that one I am like actually ashamed of slightly, but like it's all good.
Well, speaking of TV show finales that let us down, I'm not gonna say what the ending to this show was, but all I will say is that no show has ever let me down the way Glee let me down. Like Glee let me down.
That's on my list. Why did that let you down?
I felt like it was such a cop out. Like I feel like it could have ended so much better than that. We'll talk about it separately because I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
I honestly don't remember what I like. Remember Rachel getting something at the end. I don't want to say what. I mean, she got Tony. I'm just gonna say it like whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean,
But like, I don't really remember what else happened.
Also, for the record, Rachel Berry does not deserve anything. She's like a horrible person, honestly. Like she was the worst. Not to get too much into Glee, but like I'm just saying that show let me down. Only the first 2 seasons are like actually good. But
yes, okay, first 3 for me. Like
the third one is okay. But okay, I'm gonna move on from that to mine, and you're gonna hate on me so hard for this. And like I'm not really ashamed, but like I am because it's not something I do frequently now, but like I did it a lot in like high school. Fan fiction.
I'm judging.
Listen, I love fan fiction. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's so, like, some of it is so good. Like, Wattpad, like, I remember coming home after school, going on Wattpad on my iPad mini. Like, I loved it. And, like, it's so funny now because, have you been seeing the trailers for the movie After?
No, I've never even heard of that.
Okay, well, it's like an actual movie now, and it was based on a One Direction fan fiction. And let me tell you, it does not deserve a movie.
Is that the one where like some girl like gets kidnapped?
I don't think she gets. It's not like she gets kidnapped. It's like this, like she like falls in love with like the bad boy, and he's like, and it's like it's supposed to be It's originally Harry Styles, like. But like there's some good fan fiction out there. I'm not gonna lie. Like, okay, there's this one I'm gonna talk about because I literally tell everyone about it because I'm not ashamed because it's actually so good. But there's this fan fiction that's based around the Big Four fandom. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, well the Big Four fandom is I don't remember what year Tangled came out, but it was the year that Tangled came out, Brave, How to Train Your Dragon, and Rise of the Guardians. And basically the Big Four fandom it's Jack Frost, Hiccup, Merida, and Rapunzel. And listen. I was like 14 when I found this fan fiction, and it's so good. I know, I knew you were gonna laugh at me for that, but it's so good. It's so good. It's called A Whole New World, and basically they're all in high school. No, listen. It's good. Like you can make like a book out of it, and you just changed all the names.
It sounds like that Disney Channel movie Descendants.
Yeah, no, but listen. It's like it's all Disney and like DreamWorks, all like those big animation companies characters all in high school together, and basically Rapunzel comes from like an abusive household with like Mother Gothel, who's her mom, and she like gets placed in like she gets fostered by people, and like it's like talking about like all like the issues that each character would have in like real life. Like with Hiccup, it talks about like his mom's death and like how he doesn't really get along with like his dad, and like Jack Frost is like an orphan who's also like being like fostered by someone, and like Merida like has like problems at home with like her mom, and it's like it could be like a book if you just changed all the characters. Like
I can see that. Yeah.
It was really, really well written. And like honestly, like I revisit it like every couple months and read it. It's like 27 chapters. Like it's long.
Yeah.
And and I feel like I need to like talk about this just to put this in perspective. But keep in mind that like fan fiction can take you places. Like 50 Shades of Grey was originally a Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So like it's not like that cringy when it's like well done, if that makes sense. Like I've read a lot of like crappy fan fictions, but like there are some really good ones out there, like people who are like really talented with writing. So like,
I actually keep going.
No, I was just gonna say like like, I don't know. I really like, cause like like when you fall in love with like a movie, like I loved Brave, Tangled, like I loved all like the Disney movies, like even like Frozen, like has some like pretty good fan fiction out there, not gonna lie. But like it's like you always want more. So like that was like my way of like getting more of the story by like reading fan fiction. So like it's cringy, but like when you look, it's like really like some of them are good. So that's my guilty pleasure.
So I never like got into fan fiction, but my brother was really into it. And like I think probably like when it I guess when it started, because like I remember him talking about it when I still lived in Memphis, and I only lived in Memphis till I was 8 years old. And he was really into like Harry Potter fan fiction. He was like to the point where me and my sister like would talk about Harry Potter, especially like in middle school when I got really into it and reading it. And he would be like, I don't really care. The fan fiction is better anyway. And I'm like, okay, first of all, shut up. No, but like, so he's really into it, but I didn't know like other people were that into it. I didn't start hearing about it until like high school when other people like would talk about it. But I was just like, that's fun. I mean, I'm not honestly, I'll be honest, like, I'm not surprised that you were into fan fiction.
Okay, like, yeah. I mean, I can't blame.
But, I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised I wasn't into it because, like, I used to love, like,
that's what surprises me.
But like, I just never could get into it.
You're into, like, I feel like you're the kind of person who would be into fan fiction, but you're just not for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's honestly true. Because like like I said, as a kid, I used to like deep dive research everything. Like I would read all the Wikipedias, and I would read. I loved like any fan renditions of anything. So like I'm honestly surprised that I didn't. I don't really know why though. I guess it never really appealed. I guess reading like books about it didn't really appeal to me. I don't know.
Wait, I'm going to expand on this for 1 second, but also like I used to like frequent DeviantArt for like fan art of characters and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like so much of it is so good. And like a lot of it would be like linked to a fan fiction. Like it would be like, it's like if you like, for example, the one I was talking about, like someone would make like a fan art of like the story that like was linked to like this fan fiction. And so like I did a lot of that, and like I'm still like big on Tumblr, so like a lot of it came from Tumblr. And I feel like that's where like maybe why you didn't get so much into it, because a lot of the fan fiction I found was on Tumblr.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah, I never got into Tumblr, which is also surprising.
Yeah, but also I feel like you would hate Tumblr. So I am not surprised.
See, I always told myself, I was like, I feel like I would like it, but I was like, I know I would waste so much time on it, so I'm like, I'm just not even gonna start. And so because I didn't know about it until middle school. Yeah,
if you counted the hours I've been on Tumblr, it would probably be like at least a year of life spent on Tumblr.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah, no, don't blame you. It's a cesspool. It's almost worse than Twitter sometimes.
Yeah.
But so that's my thing on fan fiction.
So do we want to do one more each?
Yeah, sure.
Wrap up? Okay. Mm-hmm. So my last one is another TV show. Okay, honorable mention though, Bubblegum Pop. You know, just that nostalgia factor. I just love, like, even though it's like trash pop, I'm just like, I love it, you know? It's like so good.
Music Bubblegum Pop?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, that, like, honestly, it's relatable. Like,
yeah, exactly. And like I'll like play some songs, and like all my friends here, they're all like the type that are like well, a lot of them listen like country or like indie, and they're like, we only listen to real music, and I'm like, oh my god. Anyway, so like when I like play that, they're like, what are you doing? But I love it anyway. Okay, sorry, that was just an honorable mention. But this show, okay, not really a guilty. I don't know. I'm not really ashamed of it because it's honestly a good show. So Netflix's Haters Back Off, which is done by the YouTuber Miranda Sings. It's honestly so good. Like, okay, so I used to watch Miranda Sings. I don't really watch her that much anymore. Like, I'm still subscribed, and so like sometimes I'll see her videos. She also recently had a baby, and so like I did follow that.
It's so cute. He's
her, yeah, and the guy that's the dad, and that she's engaged to, plays the love interest in this show. And so like seeing them from that show, and then them get together and like fall in love, and like for months people were like, are they together? Because they like kept taking pictures with each other, and like he would be in her videos sometimes, and everyone's like, are they together? And then she like announces, hey, I'm pregnant with his child, and I'm also engaged to him. And everyone was like, anyway, so they are a really cute couple. Anyway, but I like this show, I started watching, and I was like, it's probably not gonna be good. Cause like, let's be honest, like YouTubers, when they like try and make music or they try and like make TV shows, Fred, like it's
Oh
not
my
good.
God.
Or like, okay. Grace Helbig had like a talk show for a short amount of time. I actually enjoyed it. But other than that, I'm like, every other YouTuber has tried to move to TV, has been unsuccessful. And even this one was unsuccessful.
It's so funny you're talking about this because my next one has to do with a YouTuber. So
okay. Well, that's good. Anyway, but this show, like, there's some like real emotions in it. And like, it's so, what I really love about it is that like, to me, it's almost like genius. Cause what she did is she took this like, okay, Miranda lives in this like, the whole basis of the show is Miranda trying to become a YouTube star. And so it's like Miranda's a real person. First of all, Angela Kinsey is in it, who played Angela in The Office. So like she already has some like star quality in there.
Yeah.
And she is the mom and she does a great job. But basically like they live in this trash house. Like it's like a hoarder's home. And like they treat it all as a joke and they treat all these things as jokes. But like then you think about it and you're like, wait, that's actually really, really sad. And they like, I don't know. It's just like, it's the contrast of like they're put in these awful situations or conditions that are really sad, but they also like make it funny. But then also they're still able to recognize like, hey, look at this. Like, this is sad. Like, you should not be happy about this. And I don't know, it's just like, it has some really good moments in it. And it's honestly, it's so funny. Like, it really is funny. And it's not like it's not like watching her YouTube channel. Like, it's really not at all. I mean, if you find her voice annoying, okay, obviously you're not going to like the show because she talks in that voice all the time. But like, there's just so many, like, it's so different from her YouTube channel. It was honestly such a genius idea. And then it got cut, like it got canceled after season 2, which was really sad. But it is a great show and I recommend it to everyone.
Yeah. I might have to check that out because I never watched it. So like, cause I didn't think it would be good. So I like didn't watch it, but like,
I honestly didn't think it would be either, but I watched it. I was like, this is actually really good quality.
Yeah. Okay. So segueing off of that low key, do you remember, when Shane Dawson made a full length film like a few years ago?
Yeah. I mean, I remember. I wasn't a fan of him.
Okay. Listen, I've been a fan of Shane Dawson since I think 6th grade, which like looking back, I should not have been watching Shane Dawson at that age, but Not Cool was his film and he filmed it in Pittsburgh, which is so cool.
Yes, I did know that. Yeah.
I was so excited for this movie. It is literally garbage. Like, I don't know how like it did as well as it did. I mean, probably just because like Shane Dawson.
It did well, did it?
I mean, I don't think it did bad. Like, its budget was well, yeah, I'm looking at the budget right now. It low-key flopped, but like I bought it. Like I bought it as soon as it came out. I was so excited. It basically, like, if you ever watch like Shane Dawson's old videos where basically he dresses up as like all the characters and like it's just really like not like it's like really gross humor. Like it's like ew, like gross out humor. And like it's literally a YouTube video from that era of Shane Dawson, but for like an hour and a half. Like it's just one big Shane Dawson skit. And like you can tell he's like trying to make it so serious in it, but like it's just not. But the movie, I love it so much. And it's so funny because like it was from a game show, like basically, I guess. I don't know if you can call it a game show, but the challenge is that we're going to give these two people the same script and see what they come up with. And Shane.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And Shane's won, even though his was so much worse than the other one. And like Zachary Quinto and him like had, I don't know if it was like beef, but like Zachary Quinto does not like Shane Dawson because of it. Like, and like they were both shot in Pittsburgh, which is cool. So like it's just weird to think that like he was like in like our hometown basically like for like shooting this movie. And like I love it so much.
Called
like
Pittsburgh people ugly.
Yeah,
he said like, I'm like a 10 in Pittsburgh, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, Shane's like not the cutest. I feel like he's just saying that to make himself feel better. Like, let's be honest. But I know that's like whenever he like cut his hair and like he had to wear a wig in the movie to keep like the aesthetic.
That's I forgot it was like a game show thing, but I did know like Zachary Quinto hated him.
Yeah, it's like the whole movie is like just so weird. I love it though. Like. I remember watching it at like 14 years old and just being like, this is art. Like, this is literally the best thing I've ever seen. Revisited it like a few years later and I was like, this is horrible, but I still literally love it. Like even if you watch the trailer, like it's just so bad, but it's so good. Like I don't know, I just love it. Like it's like one of those things where it's like, since you're so attached to this one creator that like you just love everything put out, even if it's garbage.
Yeah,
but even like in Drew Monson's in it too, which is even weirder. It's just such a mess of a film, but I love it so much. And like honestly, check it out, because like who knows, you might love it, you probably won't, but I do. So, but yeah, it's
everyone.
Shane,
keep going.
This is at the point where I feel like he was like, he wasn't sure what to do, because it kind of like went into whenever he would just like make like food eating videos.
Yeah, it was like the transition.
Yeah, but I mean, now he still came out on top, and he's making thousands of dollars making these docuseries about friggin' Chuck E. Cheese. So,
yes.
But
everyone, thank you so much for listening. This was a lot of fun talking about our guilty pleasures, and I had to dig deep a little bit, but I had fun doing it. Let us know your guys' guilty pleasures.
Please, I want to know. Too
ashamed. And you can find us on, if you're listening, like you are on our YouTube channel, but you can also find my YouTube channel where I post all my radio show stuff on The Noise, and you can find where we post everything on my Instagram, pglover2447, and Mia's Instagram, which is
SonicMia21.
Yes. So go follow those and keep up with everything. Thank you guys so much for listening. Mia, any last words?
No, I'm not ashamed of anything anymore. This weight has been lifted off of my shoulders.
Yes, all these years. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Join us next week with a new topic.